Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's watch list review. Pretty ugly week. Let's take a look here. This is this week. Um, we still haven't hit the lows from a couple of weeks ago, but nonetheless, it was a pretty ugly looking week. We look at the daily chart here. We kind of peaked here, double topped at 458-ish. Actually, triple topped here at 458 on the daily chart, and today was just an ugly day. Although it worked out, I hit SPY puts for 117%, I believe, and I hit them a second time for, I don't know, maybe 40, 50%. I did have a few stop outs in there that were, smaller stop outs, 10, 15% stop outs along the way. In the end, it was, I was green for the day, but it took me a couple of stop outs because I was keeping real tight stops and playing zero DTEs, which is 0 days to expiration, so they move really quick, and you don't want to let those get away from you. So I got in, and they would pop back up, and I'd just hurry up and bail out, and did that like 3 times, and then I hit the two bigger winners, and more than made up for the stop outs. But anyway, let's take a look at this week's watch list. I had kind of a mix of some going to the upside, some going to the downside. So for inside weeks, we had Intel, Tesla, and we had Roblox going either direction. For two up with a red close, we had Microsoft to the upside, Target to the downside, Lowe's to the downside, Adobe to the downside. And this isn't typically, when you see a two up with a red close, you're looking for stuff to go to the downside. But I did have Microsoft to the upside, and we'll get to that. So let's take a look. We'll start with Intel, and I haven't looked at these. I don't know that I even traded any of these this week. I couldn't tell you for sure. I didn't do a lot of trading this week. I was had a lot going on. Wasn't at my desk yesterday. Um, a lot going on with work, so didn't do a lot of trading this week. Um, but you can see here we were looking for a break below this inside candle. We did not get that, so no trigger on Intel, no trigger, no trade. Tesla, take a look at Tesla. Tesla, we were looking for a pop above the inside week. We got that, but we didn't hit any targets. In fact, the high was 947. It only went up $4 after it triggered. So Tesla, we're gonna have to call that one a loser. Roblox, this one we were looking to go either direction, and it looks like it actually broke out to the upside. It did hit the first two targets, although the first two targets weren't much of a move. Second target was 71.32. The trigger was 69.25, so $2 move to hit target 2, which isn't too bad on the weeklies if you're trading a weekly. If we look at the shorter time frame, let's take a look and see how it played out on the shorter time frames here. So we go back to Monday, and we actually triggered on Wednesday afternoon just before the close. So we triggered and took out the first two targets. So that would have been a good trade. In less than an hour, you could have hit both targets. And those are nice trades because theta doesn't really hurt you too much. You got a $2 move if you traded the weeklies. So Roblox was a good winner. Microsoft, if we look at the weekly, we were looking for potential. Actually, I would have rather looked for a trade to the downside on this one, and I didn't put it out there. I kind of like the longer term outlook on Microsoft, but even then, here's what I would have done. You got to remember that none of this is here. If I would have done this last week, so our trigger would have been right here, break below this. So we had a gap to fill here, so we would have had a target here, here, here. So we would have hit a lot of targets along the way. Make sure I have that right, because that doesn't seem right. On the weekly, low was 299.96. Alright, so 299.96 was our trigger. Yeah, I was looking at that wrong. I was looking way up here. Right here. Why is it showing 21st? Alright, I'm back too far. I was thinking this was for this week. Alright. So the fourth was Friday. So right here. So we were looking for a break below 299. This candle here. Looking for a break below this candle on the 3rd. We got that. So I would have been looking at so I actually would have been looking at this for a target, and we got real close to it. The low here was 294.45. Actually, we did get it, 294.45, and this was 294.22. So we did hit target one, but I didn't put that one out there, so doesn't matter anyway. But we didn't trigger to the upside, so that was no trade. Target. Let's look for targets on target. Target, we were looking for a break to the downside. We actually got that break, but it didn't go anywhere. The low was 210.30, and the trigger was 210.54. So I'm gonna guess it just did that today. Yeah, it did. So the trigger was 210.54. And it actually triggered, let's see, the low. It actually triggered Monday. It did trigger Monday, and then it came back up, but it didn't, it's a stop out either way. No matter when it triggered, it's still stop out. So not a good trade there. Lows, take a look at the weekly. Lows, we were looking for a break below this red 2 candle here. We got that trigger. 225.17 was a trigger. Target one was 223.95. We only hit 224.53, so didn't quite get there on lows either. So another one not so good. Adobe. Okay, Adobe's a good one here. Adobe worked out. Looking for a break below this 2 up, this red 2 up last week. 503.77. Target one was 480.62. We got that. Target 2 is 472. We almost got that one. We hit 472.90. So you're looking at a $30 drop. So Adobe, if you jumped in that one, congrats on that. Let's see how it looked on the 60-minute chart. So it would have been tough because we did trigger right here. But then you probably would have stopped out. You probably would have stopped out through all this. So it may or may not have worked. If you held through all this, then it worked out. Or if you waited and jumped in here, if you waited for some type of confirmation and jumped in here. By confirmation, what I mean is this actually would have been confirmation because you closed below the trigger and then you broke below that again. So this would have been confirmation entry. Although we were riding this this lower broadening formation line. If you look at the weekly chart, I drew this off of this candle here to here. This candle right here. If you come down to the 60-minute, look how this would have been drawn off of. Let me go back and look again. January 10th, the week of January 10th. So we come back here, you know, that would have been drawn way way back before. Let me make sure I'm looking at the right one. Actually, I think it was this one. This one here. It was drawn. Okay, I drew that one on a shorter time frame. Probably would have been a daily. Yeah. So I drew that off the daily. Went from this candle to this candle here. So I drew it to the 7th, up to February 7th. And if you look at the 60, you see the 7th was back Monday. So it was drawn here. You can see on the 8th, we bounced off of it. On the 10th, came down and almost touched it, then we broke below it. So it respected that lower broadening formation for a while until it didn't, which was late yesterday. So that's Adobe. So anyway, that's my watch list for the week. Unfortunately, it wasn't very good results, but Adobe would have killed it. So thanks for watching. I'll get some scans up and get another video out. Thanks again, and hope you guys had a great week, and see you later. Bye.